use this thing. Bruh. I'm out of here. I gotta go check something actually. Let me see. Maybe do another. Looks like we're gonna take a quick trip to the Nether because I need netherite. I want to try something. I should probably wear some gold though. I did not mean to do that. Okay, let's try this shit again. I don't need a whole lot, I just need a little bit. Some netherite just added a little bit more damage to my pickaxe. I don't think it's going to make a difference though. I need netherite though. Also, I want to heal this pickaxe too. Like, you know how I break these blocks so quick like that? That's like insta mining. Like, I'd like to be able to do that in the end, you know what I'm saying? Different blocks have a different hardness scale, so Stone has a higher hardness scale, obviously, than this. This is like a really weak block. Netherrack. I want to make my pickaxe as fast as I can, though. And I want it to be netherite, so it's a little bit more durable and stuff. So she said. At least I'm healing this one while I'm here, too. Bro, I can't believe I haven't found any. Well, I can, but I should be just doing the bed thing. That would be smart. There we go. So I need 2. And that's 2. I don't need to now, but next time I come down, I probably should do that. Because I'm going to need more soon for my armor and stuff. Okay. I really hope my internet don't go down now. It's getting on my nerves. That was like 4 times in a row. I think it possibly could have been because I was downloading something in the background. And it was a big file. Game I might stream tomorrow night, actually. Yeah. That's good. As long as it stays that way. Also, turning it off and on again always works. Battlefield 5 was free this month on PlayStation, so I might try that. But it's, yeah, it was a big file. It was like 96 gigabytes. Most games nowadays are huge. Yeah, I know. I had to delete like 3 different things. It sucks. Like, PS5 is great because they have like it has a um solid state hard drive, so like it loads things way faster than like a PS4. But it sucks because they give you a terabyte hard drive, and then the operating system for the PlayStation takes up like 300 gigabytes or some shit like that. Like, it's ridiculous. So you don't even get like the full hard drive to use. So that kind of sucks. And they're putting out external ones soon that are good for that, so I might do that later on because that just makes sense. I don't want any of this stupid ass trash. There you go. You can get an external one, like a regular hard drive, like a slow one. They're like $148 or some shit. Some still expensive. Said that. There's two. What I possibly could do is get one of the slower ones and put like, say, um, PlayStation 4 games that take up less room on it, and then put up like the PS5 games on the SSD, or put the ones I play the most on the SSD so I can have faster load times, and the stuff I barely ever play just put on the other one, because you can transfer it back and forth if you want to too. So that might make more sense. Yeah, until they come up with something for it, because it's really annoying. There we go. Now we just got to go back to the end. I forgot I was going to combine it with that one, and I never did it after. Okay. My only friend. Now I got to do like a 2-hour drive tomorrow. That's going to suck. I don't have to get up early. I get up at 12 o'clock, but I hate driving for that long. Because Jess is, um, this girl owes Jess a $300 tattoo, and she keeps dicking her around and coming up with excuses on why she can't do it. So she's finally gonna do it, but now she lives like 3 hours, like, now she lives like 2 hours away from here. So I'm gonna have to drive Jess out to get it done. So that's fun. I guess it'd be nice though to get out and away from shit I see every day, you know? And if work calls me, I can be like, I'm nowhere near here. Holy Enderman. I don't even know, honestly. I think it's something that she was planning on getting for a while, but I forget what it was. That being said, I was like, that's why you don't pay people up front that amount of money for tattoos, because it's like, I got a feeling Mrs. is gonna cancel on her tomorrow morning again. She keeps doing the same thing. It's not like, having a legitimate excuse is fine, but like, I don't know, she always has these like, either she has the worst luck of anybody I've ever heard of, or like, she's just making a bunch of shit up, because it's like, every time it comes to it. Like, she'll make the plan, and then, like, the day of, or, like, the night before, she'll message her and be like, yeah, I can't do it because somebody's, like, in the hospital or something. And it's like, that's fine if that's, like, an actual thing, but it just seems kind of suspect that it happens exactly every single time the same kind of way, you know what I mean? Oh, here we go. Bro. Don't knock me off. Play fair. Yeah, and it sucks when people do that too. If they're not saying it, if they're not telling the truth, because you feel like a dick for getting mad at them. You know what I mean? Because if it is like an actual serious thing, then it's like, you know, I don't know. I just think it's stupid. Don't come up with excuses like that. That's just kind of. I was like, if she doesn't do it this time, I was like, you should just take her to like small claims court or something like that, man. Just get your money back, because she told Jess that she'd give her money back like the last time, and then she canceled on her. And then she wouldn't give her money back. She said, "Oh, I don't have the money right now, so I'll do it whenever." So she rescheduled with her, and then she canceled again. And this time she said, "Well, if I don't do it tomorrow, then if I cancel, I'll give you your money back." And I'm like, man, like this fucked up. It's actually fucked up. Like, if the way I look at it is like, okay, if you're gonna take someone's money up front for a service like tattoos or something, anything, whatever it is, um, you don't get to spend that money that you took up front until you finish your job. Like, am I wrong in thinking that? Like, if like, I'm a graphic designer, if someone paid me like $200 up front to do something, and they said, okay, well, you'll get the rest later, I wouldn't spend that $200 immediately after I got it. You know what I mean? Like, almost a year. Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, that's what I mean, if you're going to. But I mean, like, if you don't think that you're going to be able to follow through with it, then don't spend the money until you, you know what I mean? Like, I get that people got to pay bills and stuff like that, but it's like, don't take someone's money for a service and then, like, screw them around for a year and then act. It's just, even if you do have a legitimate excuse, like, you got to understand from that other person's point of view, like, that's their money they gave you, and you need to do your job. Like, it sucks, but that's it. her putting it off for a year makes it worse because it's just like, dude, like you're just stressing multiple people out, including yourself. Just do it. And like I said, I kind of know because I know what the graphic design thing, what it's like when shit like that happens. Yeah. I'm leaving at 12. So I'd say I won't get back till 6 or 7 probably. Because I'd say it'll take around 3 to 4 hours to do. And then an hour there and an hour back maybe. Depending on what traffic's like on the highway. I hate driving on the highway. I can't stand it. Not that I'm not good at it. I don't trust everybody else. Like, people suck. So many bad drivers. People go way too fast. Yeah, well, obviously. Oh my god, this is so cool that it's actually, like, getting flat now. Obviously. I knew you were going to say that. As soon as I said it, I'm like, she's going to copy me. Yeah. Yeah. Which was it the first ones that you had? It's funny too because I was literally saying it. Like I was like, man, it actually didn't look that bad. I was like, man, if that was like obviously if you were closer, then yeah, that would be cool. Apartments here, finding an apartment or like any kind of thing like that here for like that price is like impossible. Either that or there's some catch to it. Oh yeah. Oh, bro. I did look at that guy. That was my bad. Bro, are you gonna attack me or are you just gonna wait 20 minutes? Yes, buy dishwasher and everything. I just got one of those like dishwashers you hook up to your sink, like the obviously an electric one, but like the ones you like plug to your sink. You ever see those? Yeah. I don't think I'd be able to do dishes legitimately by hand anymore. I can't. It's so much. Especially if you like get off work and you gotta come home, put the laundry in, do all the dishes, run the dishwasher, clean up everything, put the recyclables in recycling bags. No one does that. I know you know. Yeah, good times. Like I literally get off work from doing dishes and cooking, and then it's just like, oh, time to do more dishes and cooking. It's like I was supposed to take out like the garbage last night, and I was just like, nah, I'll just put it out in the bin later. I don't even, I couldn't be bothered to like put on shoes and bring it out when I got home. Garbage day is on Tuesdays in Portugal. I mean, this guy's like wanting me to look at him. Bro, get out of my way. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about getting that Mortal Kombat cabinet and selling the one I have. Because I have a Street Fighter 2 one, but I don't really play it that much. Like, that company put out those arcade machines, and the first ones that they put out was like Pac-Man and Street Fighter 2 and a few other ones. And I remember, like, I bought the Street Fighter 2 one because I was like, okay, well, I'll get the Street Fighter 2 one because it has the two-player, like, arcade control deck with 6 buttons each. And it has, and it's got, like, Street Fighter 2 on it, which is cool. Which I'm not a huge fan of Street Fighter, but whatever. And my plan was to put, like, a Raspberry Pi or even another game machine in it and hook it up, but it is, I don't know, a little too complicated for me. Because I was like, I could probably do this to actually play Mortal Kombat on it, right? Because that's what I wanted. And there was no Mortal Kombat cabinet. They hadn't made that yet. So I was like, well, I'll do that and I'll put that on it. And then I never got around to it, never bothered. So I was like, they put out a Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet a little while ago. and they started selling those, and I was like, that's cool, like I'd like to have one of those. But then the one that I sent you, the Legacy one, uh, they announced that a little while ago, and I was like, oh man, that'd like actually be perfect because it's it's got like the regular Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet they sell has Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3 Ultimate. So 3 the games in the one cabinet, right? But this one, the Legacy one, has Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3 Ultimate, and it has a bunch of other Midway games, like Rampage, and a few other ones, like Gauntlet, I think, and some other. And I like all those games, and Rampage is one of my favorite arcade games too, so it's like actually perfect for me. And I love the way Mortal Kombat 2 arcade cabinets look, with Raiden on the side. Brings me back so many memories of going to the arcade here all the time when I was a kid. Spending so many quarters in Mortal Kombat 2. They're like IKEA arcade cabinets, right? Because they're like they come in a box and you put them together when you get it. I mean, I could sell the Street Fighter one for like 300, 350. Because there's like a scratch on the side of it because one of the cats knocked something over and it like tore the paint on the side. And then put it towards the other one. I don't want to, I don't know. They're expensive. I don't really like spending money on shit like that. Especially since it's only like 6 games or 10 games or something. It just seems like, I don't know, it's weird. I just like having the arcade thing. It's just like, I don't know, there's something like, I don't know if it's a nostalgia thing, but there's like something nice about just like sitting on like a stool and just like playing some arcade games. Especially since they're like the legitimate arcade ports too. Like it's not like it's a, you know, shitty console port or something. They sell those too. They have those too. They even have sit-down arcade cabinets like Outrun and Star Wars, which I'd love to have, but I don't have no room for that. My other dilemma I was looking at was like I could get that, but like there's someone here actually selling like an actual sit-down racing like arcade cabinet here for like a Sega game called Daytona, but the game doesn't work on it, so you'd have to fix it. But it's like same price, and I'm like, it's a lot of money to spend on something that's broken. It is cool that it's original though. It's not like an actual like remake or anything. It's legitimately like the cabinet with the coin slots and everything. Love that game. Daytona? You've played that? It's actually surprising. I always like the music because it's so weird. Like broken English. It's so good though. I love it. Partly why I love Sega games. I don't know. Not many people play it. Like me and JB knew about Daytona, but like a lot of people here don't even know that that even existed. But yeah, somebody's selling like a championship, like actual arcade cabinet, like the one where you'd sit down with the steering wheel, for like the same price as that one I'm thinking about buying, the brand new one. But it's like a legitimate original Sega one. But the game, they can't get the game to run on it. Like everything on it is in good condition, but they can't get the board to run. And see, like the problem with that is like, you know, if I spent, say, okay, so if I spent like $400 or $500 on that, saying, thinking I could fix it, but I mean that could be like, that could get expensive, right? because all that stuff is original parts. So I mean, when you're trying to fix stuff like that, it's like it gets expensive because finding those parts sometimes is not cheap, and you got to go on eBay and stuff like that, right? It sucks because it'd be really cool to have. Yeah, it's a lot of money to spend on something that you don't know if you could fix. Like, because I can fix like a lot of consoles and stuff, but when it comes to arcade machines, I don't really know much about it. Yeah, and like my two dream arcade machines that I'd want to actually own are Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet and a Neo Geo cabinet. And I have the board for a Neo Geo cabinet. Like I could actually hook that up to something. Which is one of the reasons why I want like an actual arcade cabinet at some point in my life, because then I could just change out the board whenever I want, you know what I mean? To whatever game I want. Because they all used almost the same plugs depending on what company made them. Neo Geo cabinets are the coolest thing to me. And they've gotten more popular over the years. Have you ever played a Neo Geo? It sounds really foreign, but you probably have played one if you've ever been to an arcade. You probably just don't know it. They were always these bright red cabinets. At least here in the States they were. Okay, so like, explaining a Neo Geo cabinet, it's like, I don't know if you know anything about arcade cabinets whatsoever, but like, basically, it's just like, inside of it, right? You got your screen or your TV or whatever, obviously. And then it's just like a PCB board, like just a board that has the one game on that board, and that's it, right? It's just this huge board that's probably mounted to the side of the cabinet on the inside. Yeah. And you know that, like, that's the only game that's on it. You got that board. So if you want to change the game in that cabinet, you'd have to plug a new board in, right? Okay, so with Neo Geo, they were famous because like their arcade cabinets had like on the top where you'd see like the marquee of what game was there or whatever. There's like different ones. There's ones that do 2 or 4, and like you'd see like a selection of games, like say 4 games, and you press a button to choose which game you want to play on the cabinet, which was I guess kind of crazy because most cabinets just had one game on it, and you could literally just choose whatever game you wanted to play on it that was there. And the reason for that isn't because there's multiple boards inside of it, but because Neo Geo boards have like, they actually had cartridges that were like this big. They're actually huge cartridges. And you'd have a board inside the cabinet, and the company or the store or bar or whatever that had the arcade cabinet could order different cartridge games to put in their arcade cabinet and change them out over time, and like, you know, just to update it or whatever. So like, it's cool because if you have like a Neo Geo arcade cabinet, then you could like, theoretically you can buy whatever game you want and put in it and have up to 4 games or 2 games, or depending on which board you have, because some of them only do 2 games. You've probably played Neo Geo games before, but you probably don't remember. I don't know if you know. I don't know if you've ever heard of a game called Metal Slug before. It's like a side-scrolling shooting game. And that's Neo Geo. And like Bubble Bobble and Puzzle Bobble, that's Neo Geo. Or well, it's Taito, but it was on Neo Geo. Yeah, they're really expensive though. Like if getting a board is one thing, but like if you get the cartridges, they're like over a couple $100 each for like a single game, and it's ridiculous nowadays. Even back then, it was probably pretty expensive. It's not like the cartridges have like any like nice labels. They just have like a literal just printed black and white label on the end of it, and that's it too, right? So like it's not they're not crazy like designed or anything. Because even back then, like when they had those cabinets like that, they were really popular. So instead of like making a console that would play the games, because you know, like if you played Mortal Kombat on a Sega Genesis or on a Super Nintendo, it wasn't as good as it was in the arcade. Those consoles couldn't handle it. But like Neo Geo eventually put out a home console called the AES, and it had cartridges, and they were pretty much the same cartridges, but they'd have the boards reversed so you couldn't use the arcade ones in it, just because they want people to buy them or whatever. But yeah, that was the thing. And their arcade ports to their console was literally they're arcade perfect, right? They're not there's no like loss in quality or anything. They're exactly the same as they are in the arcade. Which is why they're such a famous company for that kind of stuff. Like I have a Neo Geo CD which has like almost arcade perfect ports pretty much, but the load times are terrible because it's like one of the first CD consoles ever. So like the CD players in them are really shitty. Look at this dude. It's a nice spot. But yeah. But yeah, I actually have a board for a Neo Geo arcade cabinet. I've never had a cabinet to put it in. My thing was always I wanted to get like a cabinet. It didn't necessarily need to be Neo Geo, but I'd put it in it. But the ones that like you buy online, like these new ones, they're just not compatible with those because they're not real arcade cabinets. They're just whatever, right? But someday I'll get a real one, and that's my plan. Either that, or I could turn it into a console, because some people consoleize them. I've had the board for a while. I bought it off somebody a long while ago. What is this dude's deal? I think I might have showed you the board before. Either that, or it's on my Instagram. I'm pretty sure I posted a picture of it on my Instagram. I think mine's a 2-slot one. Neo Geo collecting gets really expensive if you get into it too. It's probably like one of the most expensive video game collecting scenes you can get into. Because the games are just so expensive. Which is why I went with the CD one, because the games are a lot cheaper on the CD one, because a lot of people don't want it because of the load times, but like, I got plenty of time. Make a cup of tea while I'm waiting. Right? But you know they're high quality too, because like even the CD cases got like the jewel cases have an actual like Neo Geo stamp on them and everything. Like it's embossed with like a stamp. Like, it's actually nuts. It's basically like a rich person's game machine back in the day. And not now, because they're pretty much... SNK still makes games, obviously, but they're pretty much gone out of business just for the most part for that, in terms of consoles and stuff. They make like the King of Fighters games, if you've ever played those. King of Fighters and Fatal Fury, if you've ever played Fatal Fury before. That's Neo Geo. Yeah. I do, though. Too many. Well, that's that entire side from this part here, so that's cool. Because this is where I'm going to have the wall, too, for when I flood it. Look at what? King of Fighters is like still a series. Like they do one somewhat frequently. However, Metal Slug is like my favorite um IP that they had. Yeah, they were popular fighting games. Bruh. You kidding me now? I'm gonna do a flyover and just see how much of this I got left to do because there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit. I mean, most of it's fairly flat considering how big it is. It's really this area over here that I'm currently working on that's the hardest. Like over here, like this is pretty much done. Like for the most part, besides a few little areas. Obviously, I'm not going to get all this done tonight, but you know. Like this area here is going to be the hardest part. There's so much space to cover. I mean, it don't have to be, I guess. But like, it makes it a lot easier for flooding. I don't know. Because there's different pockets where the water might not flow properly or something, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because, like, say, like, it's gonna have to be taller than the tallest one of these towers that is here. think of it like an aquarium. Like I'm building a wall, it's like a giant aquarium, and I'm just gonna fill it in with water. And then none of the Endermen can spawn anywhere because they can't touch water because water kills them, so they won't spawn anywhere in the area. So, um, you basically make an area on the top of the water or somewhere inside where they can spawn. So you're kind of controlling where they can be. So you want to control them so that they go to one spot, and then you can just kill them without, and then you get all the XP and all the pearls. Because I think this is the tallest tower. So it needs to be at least this high. And then filled water. The only problem is with my spawn of it is that there's like there's a lot of caves, and there's also that one area that's up here that's like outside. Like obviously I'm gonna have to get rid of that. And I'm gonna have to connect my way to get into this thing somehow without having them. Like it's gonna have to be underwater to a point, you know? Or covered in something that they can't spawn on. My worry, like there's caves inside this, which is what I'm worried about, like over there. And like that island over there, I might have to like completely get rid of somehow. As for the walls, like I'd like to have the walls done with glass, but like getting that amount of glass is gonna suck. So I just decided to do it end stone. Because obviously I have a lot of that, because just like relocating it at that point. It is a lot of work, yeah. It's not gonna be not gonna be an easy thing to do. Leave me alone, bro. I'm getting out of here anyway. I don't think it'd be that long, but definitely like maybe maximum 6 months, I'd say. Depending on how much I'm playing, though, that all depends. Might get bored before then anyway and give up or something on me. Because I'd like to play a hardcore world, but I don't know if I'd be any good at that because I die way too fucking often to be like actually good at hardcore. Which is also why I kept all this endstone here too, right? Worst thing about hardcore is just like you play on it and I'm like it's terrifying to me that like you do all like if I had all this done in hardcore, everything I've done, and then I just like died and then immediately lost it all. You know what I mean? You can't get it back, like it's gone. That sucks. But I guess that's the thrill of it. That's what gets viewers. I mean, that was like Philza. Like watching him was one thing, but like he never really got big until he lost. He had a hardcore world that he had for 5 years, and then he lost it, and that was when he got huge, pretty much. Because I guess that just made news stories. Like, you know, man plays Minecraft for 5 years, entire world gets deleted. It's like newsworthy. Mm. I'm doing that glitchy thing now where I can like go through blocks. Like it's not supposed to do that. Anyway, I'm gonna end it here, but I'm gonna start a new one because I'm just gonna play some Sega games or something instead. So I can't mine any more blocks for the night. I'll go crazy. Okay, I'll be right back. I'll let you know.